Yeah, you need to listen to your constituents and you need to come talk to us.
Coming up on First at 5, protesters speaking out outside Kat Kamek's office over defunding, its impacts, and why there's so much backlash.
Plus, GRU versus the city continues. We bring you the latest on the Utility Authority Board issues with the referendum on November's ballot.
First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Nationwide, there have been many layoffs and cuts, but now they're inching closer to home. Welcome to First at 5. I'm Nicole Borman.
And I'm Roches. Protesters gathered outside Representative Kat Kamek's office this morning over the defunding of the National Institute of Health. WUFT's Victoria Perez joins us live from the representative's office with how people are reacting to the news.
I'm here outside of Kat Kamek's office where protesters were gathered this morning. They came here to this location to voice their frustration. They tell me this has become part of their weekly agenda. Every Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., protesters plant their feet and their signs in front of Florida Representative Kat Kamek's Gainesville office.
They know the decisions they're making are hurting people.
Gainesville resident Jean Mills hopes the representative will hear their concerns.
Yeah, you need to listen to your constituents and you need to come talk to us.
The stance in this moment involves the National Institute of Health's mass layoffs and funding cuts. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announced plans to reinstate some personnel and programs affected by the layoffs.
We're streamlining the agencies. We're going to make it work for public health, make it work for the American people.
A promise Judy Hunt is unsure about.
I vote, we count, we care for America.
She has a personal connection to the issue. Her daughter is a doctor.
Whether it be medicine, medical care, whether it be education, those are so much more important than a bottom line.
That's why Mills says she'll keep coming out.
Come on, America. We need a level playing field. We need to treat each other with respect and with equality, and to help those in need.
For them, it's until next Friday. We reached out to the representative's office to see what they had to say about the weekly protests, and they told us they have no comment. Reporting live in Gainesville, Victoria Perez, WUFT News.
On Thursday, the Florida House approved the proposal that could place additional restrictions on ballot initiatives. This would add new obstacles to support ballot initiatives. This comes after last year's battles over proposed constitutional amendments on abortion rights and recreational marijuana.
And the battle of whether the power should rest with the people or the GRU Authority Board continues. Even with the referendum passed with almost 73% of votes back in November, issues over the wording are still going on. Thursday night, the Gainesville City Commission decided not to appeal and to discuss having conversations with GRU Authority about the best way moving forward. If a revised referendum is introduced, GRU plans to appeal. The City Commission is saying GRU is appealing the ruling. A circuit court ruled that the residents of the city have control over their own government. City Commissioner Brian Eastman said in a statement, "This appeal by the GRU Authority will cost our taxpayers and ratepayers hundreds of thousands of dollars and will send our utility into even more uncertainty right when it needs stability. It's a real shame," and hopes the GRU Authority will give some real thought into what they're trying to accomplish and why.
Now, taking a look outside over I-75, traffic is light this afternoon and the skies are clear, and we should be expecting warm temperatures throughout the weekend. WUFT's Matthew Clark joins us now with the weather forecast.
That heat wave is continuing right now, overlooking our campus cam. 89 degrees, just 1 degree shy of 90 degrees. It's hot and it's warm out there. It's not just necessarily the temperature, but it's also that humidity. It just feels sticky. It feels like a Florida summer day. Temperatures for the rest of our area, we've seen 90 in Ocala, 91 down in Crystal River. So we've seen some 90s across north central Florida, and we have not quite reached that near record heat today. That record was 91, but all the way back in 1974 today. We did end up tying it yesterday, so we are just a few degrees shy from that record. Right now, we're going to not get much of a break as we head into the overnight hours. It's still going to remain humid out there. If you're going to that baseball game tonight, it's going to be hot, it's going to be humid. This system, though, that's going to bring us our next cold front is bringing several fronts to tornado warnings to our area. I'll have that in a few minutes.
The state fire marshal is investigating a fire that happened in Bellevue Thursday night, which means concerns about arson or foul play. As you can see, the area was engulfed in fires taking over buildings and nearby forestation. Marion County Fire Rescue did not report any injuries. This fire took a full hour to extinguish with the help of 38 firefighters. The building was used for storage but contained multiple hazards to the rescue team. Also in Bellevue, parks are now considered smoke-free zones. The City Commission voted on a policy emphasizing the importance of clean spaces for children and families. Their decision was based on research that proves secondhand smoke can increase the risk of heart disease, stroke, and lung cancer. That could especially be harmful to children.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
It is National Child Abuse Prevention Month, and in Alachua County, the Sheriff's Office is standing with victims.
ACSO is planning pinwheels to show their support. Here you can see Alachua County's victim advocates planning pinwheels outside the Sheriff's Office to advocate for the cause. These advocates work to support victims with 24-hour crisis intervention, emotional support, and a link to the community resources and services. The county funds many free services to prevent, educate, and treat child abuse cases, and everyone qualifies for them.
Arrests of university students by the Federal Immigration Authority continue throughout the country. After a Mesa Ozturks arrest by ICE agents on a sidewalk, the conversation of student visas are on the rise as more are being revoked. On Wednesday in Minnesota, students with revoked visas were told they only had 60 days to leave the country. Now the timeline is unclear, but what is alarming is not the revocation.
What has alarmed us more recently is the number of students and the fact that there was no prior notification or indication that this was happening.
The department looks at indications on visa ineligibility under U.S. immigration laws.
Those record high temperatures continue this afternoon and into the weekend. I'll have how much longer you can expect the 90s before our next cool down after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
On my way here this morning, I was sweating so much. It is so hot out, and I know there's a baseball game tonight, so people are going to have to prepare for that.
Yeah, absolutely. The heat has been like so high. It's really, really feeling like the Sunshine State now.
For sure. It feels like summer, even though it's technically spring. In that campus cam, we actually reached 90 degrees on our campus cam right now. Those blue skies are overhead, so is plenty of sunshine. But look at that, 90 on our campus cam. It's feeling every bit of 90 out there. We've also reached 90 over in Ocala. Cooled off a little bit down in Crystal River, 88. But for the rest of our area, it's hot and it is sticky outside. The rest of the night, though, it's going to be much of the same. We almost reached a near record heat today as we've reached 90 here in Gainesville, just 1 degree shy. We were forecasting 92. 1974 was when that record was. Heading into the overnight hours, though, those temperatures aren't going to drop too much. It's still going to feel warm and sticky out there. At least we're in store for a nice sunset, though. We're not going to be waking up into the 40s or 50s anymore. We're going to be waking up into those upper 60s. This weekend, though, look at that. 91 on Saturday as a high, and then 89 on Sunday as a high. So this weekend, it's going to be a beautiful weekend to go to the beach. If you are going out to the beach, make sure you're wearing sunscreen and staying hydrated. Now, the next system that's coming our way is what's going to be our cool down. This system is bringing plenty of severe thunderstorm warnings. Look at that. Plenty of tornado warnings actually in Texas, spanning all the way up through Kentucky. Thunderstorm warnings, thunderstorm watches, tornado watches. The severe risk today is a level 4 out of 5 for this area that's already been battered by plenty of tornadoes. Strong tornadoes are possible in that area. Baseball size hail again. And then a very rare flash flood risk, 70% chance that this area here in pink gets a flash flood again in Arkansas. This area has just had no break over the past couple of days, and it's going to continue. So let's look at our futurecast for tonight. So these storms are going to flare up in Arkansas as we head into the overnight hours, and then a large swath of rain is going to head out in Oklahoma City, setting up the severe risk for tomorrow. Level 3 out of 5 risk tomorrow, enhanced risk for same parts, Arkansas, western Tennessee, and western Mississippi. And then again, another high risk day for flash flooding. So slow moving storms dumping a lot of rain in that area. So the futurecast, all that weather is going to just move into Arkansas and parts of western Tennessee, and it's just going to span its way. And then finally, this weather pattern breaks and that low pressure system starts to move its way in towards our area. So on Sunday, there is a slight risk, only level 2 out of 5 for parts of the Panhandle and Mississippi, spanning up through Atlanta. So finally, this system starts to move its way towards us, breaking that pattern so that severe storms could be possible Monday morning as it heads towards our area on Monday night into very early Tuesday morning over the overnight hours, and then clears up out of our area by Tuesday afternoon. So finally, The Midwest gets a break, and we have a 70% chance of rain on Monday before that cool down. So this 20% chance of rain on Tuesday is going to be in the overnight hours. And then look at that, a much needed cool down as we head into next week. So we're finally breaking the 90s and getting back into the mid 70s.
Bringing the competitive spirit back home, the Alachua County Sheriff's Office needs your help voting for the Canine March Madness. Today is the last day to vote for Canine Tracker from Alachua and Canine King from Marion. As you can see, Tracker won with a 55% of votes in the Elite 8 round, but they need your vote to advance to pass the Final Four. You can visit the ACSO Facebook for the link on where to vote.
Thanks for that, Jada. Whether Florida wins or loses on Saturday, we'll have more on-site Final Four coverage for you this coming Monday. And you can follow along over on WUFT.org. But in the meantime, let's head on back to Gainesville, where the Gator baseball team is set to play host to number 23 Vanderbilt tonight. WFT's Jordyn Banks is live at Condren Ballpark. Jordyn, Florida has endured its fair share of struggles in conference play as of late.
Yes, Jack, Florida's been having quite a few struggles this season, especially with pitching. Florida did come off of a recent win against UNF that had a season high of 5 home runs, while Vanderbilt did come back from a recent win, and they did defeat the Western Kentucky. The series against Arkansas before that they did have a swept and did lose every single game this season. Well, they are looking to bounce back from that matchup on the Florida Gators this weekend. But hitting is never a problem for the Gators. Let's take a moment to recap the recent thrilling victory. The highlight of the game, none other than a grand slam that had the crowd roaring with excitement with bases loaded. It was clear that Bobby was ready to take charge, and that's exactly what he did, sending the ball to bring all the runners home, turning a 4-run game into an 8-run lead. And it's instant. It was a game-changing moment. To top off, this wasn't Bozer's first time making an impact. The grand slam marked his second home run of the game, showcasing how vital he was to the Gators' dominant performance. Vanderbilt is currently number 23 in the AP poll. They do have a 4-5 record in the SEC play, although Florida does have a 1-8 record in the SEC. Dating back to 2016, Florida has won 4 straight home series against Vanderbilt. So for this matchup, Vanderbilt is looking to bump up in that AP poll, and Florida is looking to get back on track in the SEC. First pitch is at 6:30, live from Family Condren Ballpark. Jordyn Banks, WUFT Sports.
Now, as busy as this weekend is about to be in Gainesville, things won't be cooling down anytime soon either, namely on the gridiron. We're now just 8 days away from Florida football's orange and blue game, and the hype around this Gators team is already reaching a fever pitch. One of the main storylines this offseason has been the injury concerns around UF star quarterback DJ Lagway. The rising sophomore has nursed a lingering shoulder ailment throughout the spring, which has left him on the sideline for the last month. Despite this, Florida quarterbacks coach Ryan O'Hara had nothing but praise for his star signal caller for his approach to this year's spring slate.
His leadership, I think, is going to the next level. Okay, and he's becoming more vocal this year, because he kind of transitioned into that role when he became the full-time starter last year. But now he's not afraid to get on guys, whether it's, good and bad. And he's having those conversations in between racks with people.
Florida will make its long-awaited return to Ben Hill Griffin Stadium next Saturday on April 12th. Kickoff time in the orange and blue game is set for 1 p.m. Rounding out today's slate of Gator sports, UF softball is set to host Arkansas in a 3-game series of its own this weekend, while Florida gymnastics will take part in the NCAA Tuscaloosa Regional in Alabama this evening. Before we go, we'll have one final check on your weekend weather after the break.
Tonight, even the smallest of Gator fans are ready to cheer on the team. Babies at the UF Health NICU are decked out in Gator gear to support the men's basketball team in this exciting achievement that has only happened 6 times in program history. Aren't they so cute?
I want their outfits.
I actually got some Final Four merch too, and I know you did too, Matthew. And it's going to definitely help with that heat this weekend, right?
For sure. I mean, if you're in San Antonio, there could be some rain there tomorrow morning, but here we are going to have a cool down, a much needed cool down from those 90s this weekend. Beautiful weekend to go outside and enjoy that hot weather. Then we're getting a much needed cool down, getting into the 70s. From some overnight rain on Monday into Tuesday, about a 70% chance of rain. And we're getting that much needed cool down. It's going to be a much nicer week next week.
Thanks, Matthew. That was your news for today. You can be back here on Monday.
But you can always follow your WUFT news at WUFT.org. Have a good night.